Hello, lovely people out there. I'm Kate Hill, and today I want to talk to you about rental guarantees. Are they good? Are they bad? Or are they a big red flag? We give you the absolute best commentary and content on our channel here. So before we do anything else, please let me ask you, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so that you get all our expert hints and tips around buying, owning and investing in property as soon as we post them. And if you're enjoying the free content and you are finding it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could just hit the like button. I know smashing the button is the going phrase at the moment, but just give it a little click there. I do really appreciate your support, and it means that YouTube will recommend my videos to other people. Now, to just really quickly explain who the heck I am and what qualifies me to be here talking to you about property buying, owning and investing. I am a property professional, don't hate me. I've been in real estate for a really long time, advising and helping people. I've seen most things happen, I've gone through the cycles, and I own and invest in property myself. I walk the walk and I walk the talk, whatever the expression is. I'm out there every day at the property coalface, and I do genuinely care about empowering you to get the absolute best outcomes for yourselves, so stay tuned. Okay, so rental guarantees, what are they, who offers them, and are they good, bad, or actually a massive red flag? Now, as always, one thing that is really important to me is providing unbiased, honest information so that all you property investors out there can make informed decisions. Buying a property will undoubtedly be one of the biggest purchases of your life, so it's essential that you get this right. Now, some of you may have looked at buying an investment property which is being sold with a rental guarantee. For any investor out there, rental guarantees can seem quite appealing, but as is often the case, these things are not always as they appear when you take a closer look and you scratch below the surface of what it actually means. So I want to take you through what rental guarantees are really all about. What is it exactly? Well, no surprises, it is exactly as it sounds. Someone makes a guarantee to you that a certain amount of rent is going to be paid to you for a property. Rental guarantees are generally offered as sweeteners or a marketing hook when buying an investment property direct from developers and marketers. Now, as an aside, we'll explore the pros and cons and pitfalls of buying brand new or off-the-plan properties direct from developers in another video. So just coming back to rental guarantees, the developer will provide a promise to a guarantee to pay the buyer a certain amount of rent on an investment property. This guarantee will be for a predetermined period, let's say 12 months. So if you've been sold a property with a promise of $500 per week in rent, and if a tenant can only be secured for $400 a week, or the property sits vacant for 6 weeks, then the developer will make up the difference in rent or pay the full amount to the landlord or an investor until the tenant moves in and starts paying real rent. You have your rental income guaranteed, so you don't have to worry about losing your job or your income goes down to pay for that investment property if you don't have a tenant. It sounds okay so far in theory, right? But herein lies the inherent danger of rental guarantees. They often sound good to investors because one of the biggest concerns everybody has is vacancy. What happens if I buy an investment property and I can't get a tenant? How do you then pay the mortgage? What am I going to do? What if I lose my job and I have to pay for all that mortgage? It's a really big worry and sometimes an actual genuine risk. You should worry about that before you buy any investment property. So on the surface, it seems that the promise of a rental guarantee addresses this concern, albeit in the short term, for however long that rental guarantee is valid for. But what happens after the rental guarantee period expires? What happens if the developer who's given this guarantee goes bust before your 12-month guarantee period expires? and the rental property is really actually tested on the open market. Well, you're obviously not going to know this until that actually happens, right? But I will tell you this. If the property that you have bought is genuinely a sound investment and it ticks all of the boxes, meeting local rental market demand, and is in an excellent location with low vacancy rates to begin with, then that whole rental guarantee should be completely unnecessary and irrelevant. Your property should stack up on its own merits without the need for the seller to offer a solution to a problem that shouldn't be there in the first place. So, because of this, rental guarantees to me are a really serious red flag, and they highlight a potential underlying shortcoming in the property, or perhaps its location, or possibly both. This shortcoming could be the wrong property type, meaning that it doesn't suit the local rental demand, which could be, for example, an apartment in an area where there are mainly 3-bedroom houses. Or it could be a studio apartment in an area where everyone wants 2-bedroom apartments. It could be a property that is too expensive for the local renters. Or it could simply be a property that is located in a market that is saturated with too many other similar rental properties. An apartment or a house in a suburb where there are thousands more coming onto the market very, very soon. You shouldn't be buying any investment property like this anyway, never mind one with a rental guarantee. So I'm going to propose to you that instead of focusing on a handout from a seller in the form of a rental guarantee, which isn't really a handout at all, because one thing I will guarantee you is that you are going to be paying for that guarantee in the inflated purchase price. I promise you that. So I'd suggest that you focus on independent research and advice instead. Real area and suburb research and really careful property selection is going to minimize your vacancy risk, not just for the short term, but for the long term as well. You're going to be hopefully holding this asset for a very long time. The first thing that you can do is to find some similar properties in the immediate area where you're looking at buying this property, and look at those properties that are for rent right now and see what they're being listed for. If your rent guarantee is a lot higher than that advertised rent for those other properties in that area, then you'll get a really good idea of the normal market rent that you will get without that guarantee. And you'll need to ask yourself and that developer why the rent guarantee is in place at all. It's a sign that there might be a real problem. And actually, what is normally the case is that those rent guarantees are 99% of the time offered on properties that are hard to sell and hard to rent. And you need to ask why that is before you're buying something with a rental guarantee. Research the vacancy rate of the area. Find out what property types local renters can't get enough of. Find out what property features are the must-haves for those local tenants. You need to ensure that the property is ideally suited to the people who live there. It should meet the needs and the budgets of the largest pool of tenants in that local market. You need to think like the local in that area that you're buying in, even if you don't know the area. Put yourself in the local tenant's shoes and understand exactly what it is they're after and why. Speak to local rental professionals on the ground. Have a look at online rental listings that will tell you whether the property type that you are being sold is in short supply or oversupply. Now, this is going to sound really obvious, but the less you meet the tenant demand, the greater the risk of vacancy. And the higher the risk of an oversupply of property in that area, the higher the risk of vacancy. Scarcity, as we like to say, is the secret sauce of any investment. So everyone, please be really, really careful of rental guarantees. Find out why it is necessary in the first place. And instead, I would really encourage all of you to do your own research and assessments or get some independent help. Not from the people selling you the property. That is not independent. They're going to have a bias to selling you the property. and make sure that any property stands up on its own merits. And as I said earlier on, if the investment property is a good one and you have got good independent research, then the need for a rental guarantee should be completely non-existent. Please don't forget to just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment below, tell me about your experiences, and hit that like button too. I do really, really appreciate your support, and I will see you again really, really soon. Bye.